You walk into a room, and before a single word is spoken, you already know. Something is off in here. You can feel it. By the window, two people are talking softly, and the temperature between them is wrong. Everyone else sees two friends chatting. You feel the thin, cold line running down the middle of them, the thing they are being so careful not to say. And while everyone else finds the snacks, you do the other thing. You read the faces by the door. You clock who is tense and who is loose. Other people scan a new place for the bathroom. You scan it for the mood. And then someone you love says something, and their smile tightens, just for half a second. And your whole body drops into a cold little question you have asked your entire life. What did I do? Are they angry at me? Nobody else caught it. And somewhere along the way, you got handed a verdict for all of this. You're too sensitive. You read into everything. You're a lot. So you carry the cost quietly. You go home from an evening where nothing bad happened, and you are wrung out, like you stood guard for 3 hours. Because you did. So let me say this right at the start, and I mean it. You are not paranoid. You are calibrated. That radar in your chest is not a glitch, and it is not a weakness. It is one of the most intelligent things a human brain has ever done. And tonight, I want to tell you where it came from, why it is so tired, and how you might let it rest. This one is for the room readers. To understand the radar, we have to go back. Not to a grassland this time. To a house. The one you came into before you had a single word for any of it. Here is what nobody tells you about a baby's brain. It does not arrive with a finished threat detector installed. It arrives with a question. It looks around and quietly asks, how dangerous is it here? And how careful do I need to be? And then it builds itself to fit the answer. In 2014, 3 researchers, Katie McLaughlin, Margaret Sheridan, and Hilary Lambert, across Harvard and the University of North Carolina, published a model in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews. Experiences of threat, specifically threat, tune the exact circuits in a developing brain that handle fear and threat learning. The more a young world feels dangerous, the sharper that system learns to spot it, not as damage, as design. And think who a small child is. You are tiny. You cannot feed yourself, you cannot leave, you cannot fight. The most useful skill available to a creature that helpless is reading the giants you depend on. Their faces. Whether a silence is the safe kind or the other kind. To the degree your early home was warm and steady, that system could stay loose. But to the degree it felt unpredictable or tense, or like the mood could turn without warning, your brilliant little brain made a trade. It turned the radar up. And we can measure it. In 2002, Seth Pollack and Pawan Sinha at the University of Wisconsin published a study in developmental psychology. They showed children faces slowly coming into focus and measured how much each child needed to name the expression. And the children who had grown up with physical abuse recognized anger from less. A fainter signal, a smaller flicker, sooner than anyone else in the room. Now sit with how that child got that good. A kid who can catch the anger before it lands and get small, get quiet, get out of the way, takes fewer hits. That is not a broken child. That is a child who got extraordinarily good at surviving their own house. The radar was not lying. It was correct. Here is where the whole thing turns. That radar was tuned with incredible precision. For that house. And the cruel catch is that it does not reset just because you grew up and the world got safer. In 2016, Martin Teicher and Jacqueline Sampson at McLean Hospital in Harvard published a review in the Journal of Child Psychology and Psychiatry. The amygdala, the brain's alarm, stays hyperreactive, quicker to fire, slower to be talked back down by the reasoning parts of the brain. It gets set sensitive, and it stays sensitive, long after the danger that justified it is gone. And I want to be careful here. That research is about children who were genuinely maltreated. This is not a hidden accusation about your past, and it is not me telling you what your childhood must have been. It is a spectrum. To whatever degree your early world felt unsafe, your radar got dialed up to match. A little or a lot. Wherever you land on that line is yours, and it is real. So watch what that instrument does in a perfectly safe adult life. Your boss, who is kind, sends a short reply, and you read it 4 times for the disapproval that is not in it. Your partner goes quiet on the drive home, and some ancient part of you braces for a fight that never comes. You get a flat little text, "We need to talk," and your whole body files it as a threat, and you cannot put it down for hours. And the science nails it. In 2003, Seth Pollack and Stephanie Tolley-Schell, again at Wisconsin, published a study in the Journal of Abnormal Psychology. They found that abused children did not just notice angry faces faster. Their attention locked onto the anger and could not let go. Slow to look away, just the threatening face. So that is why you cannot relax at the party. One angry-looking face across the room has quietly captured all of you. And then comes the wound that really hurts. A world that did not grow up in your house looks at the most intelligent thing your brain ever learned to do and calls it paranoid. So you stack a second sentence on the first. Not just, "I never get to rest," but, "and now I'm broken too." So let me hand you one number. In 1998, Vincent Felitti and Robert Anda, with the CDC and Kaiser Permanente, published the Adverse Childhood Experiences Study in the American Journal of Preventive Medicine. 17,421 adults. Difficult, unpredictable childhoods are far more common than anyone politely assumes. You are not rare, and you are not imagining it. Your instinct was right. It is just running in the wrong decade. So here is what all of this adds up to, and you have earned it. It was never paranoia. It was calibration. Teicher and Sampson at McLean and Harvard showed an early environment tunes the threat circuitry. So the sensitivity is not a flaw in your character. It was installed, on purpose, by a real situation that called for it. And McLaughlin and Sheridan showed it is threat specifically that sharpens threat detection. It would have been a failure to grow up in an unpredictable home and not learn to read the room. And Pollack's 2 studies make it an instrument. Anger recognized from less, attention that locks onto the threat and holds. Measurable, specific, tuned. So the exhaustion you carry home from every gathering is not proof something is wrong with you. It is proof that a remarkable system is still standing watch, still keeping its promise to the kid who needed it. And now I want to turn the radar very gently towards something. There is one more piece of research. In 1996, Richard Tedeschi and Lawrence Calhoun at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte published work in the Journal of Traumatic Stress on something they named post-traumatic growth. They found that moving through hard experience can sometimes grow real strengths, a deeper perceptiveness, a way of relating to others that runs closer to the bone. And I have to be honest, because it would be easy to turn it into something cheap. Growth like that is possible. It is not required, not a duty, and not the reason any of it happened. Nobody owes the world a silver lining for a hard childhood. That radar of yours, tuned to catch the smallest shift in a face, is the same equipment that makes someone the friend who notices, the one who knows you are not okay before you have said a word, and gently asks. The skill you built to brace against people is the same skill that lets you take exquisite care of them. You just get to choose now where to aim it. You were never the paranoid one. You were the prepared one. Deep breath with me here. because I do not want to leave you trying to rip the radar out of your own chest. You cannot delete it, and you would not want to. It is woven into how you love and how you notice and how you survived to become who you are. But you do not have to obey it like an emergency every time it speaks. You can learn to talk to it like the loyal old guard it is. You can say, "Thank you. I know who you kept safe. And we are safe now. You can come off watch." So what does that look like in a real week? You let one room be safe, just one. You walk in and decide it does not need scanning, and let your shoulders come down an inch. You leave a worrying text undecoded for 1 hour and notice nothing comes for you. And let me be straight. Everything I have told you is a lens, not a verdict. It is the leading way scientists understand this, not a fact I can promise about your life. And it is not a diagnosis. Reading the room is a normal human trait on a wide spectrum, not a disorder. And I will not pretend the home that built the radar was fine. Adaptive does not mean okay. A brilliant survival skill is never a reason to go easy on the thing you had to survive. And this, gently. If that radar runs your entire life, if you cannot remember the last time you felt safe in any room at all, that is not a personal failure, and it is not weakness. That is the moment talking to a real, kind professional becomes the strong move. Reaching for help is not the radar breaking. It is you, finally, putting some of the watching down. Here is the truth to leave on. The radar in your chest isn't paranoia, and it was never proof that something's wrong with you. It's the most intelligent thing a small brain ever did. It studied a hard room and learned to keep you safe inside it. It just never got the memo that the danger is over. So the next time you walk into a room and feel the whole place at once, don't call yourself crazy. Thank the kid who built that radar, and then, gently, tell it the truth. We made it out. We're safe now. You can finally come off watch. And if any of this landed somewhere real, send it to the person who reads every room the second they walk in. And send it to the one who never understood why that person just cannot seem to relax. Tell them both the same thing. It was never paranoia. It was a radar that loved you. And it is allowed, finally, to rest.